What's going on, my high vibrational expressions of God on earth? It's time to go from artificial intelligence to ancestral intelligence so that we can use and live in authentic intelligence. Today we get to use the new competitive advantage report going through Brother Osama's, Dr. Jerome, and Dr. Arlene Span's numbers to give you a complete overview so you can understand the old AI and the new AI. I sent out a video, no, it's a Facebook post, and someone had posted about the current pressure, the current frequency, the current wave, the current verb, or the current vibration that we are all under, or that we're all being influenced by, which is why we need to go from the artificial intelligence to ancestral intelligence to authentic intelligence, so we can become one with source. And then that goes from being a data-driven, predictive, to plasma-driven harmonics to ether or etheric-driven singularity. So we're going from a programmed response to a living response to a embedded response, because it's embedded in our DNA, or it's embedded in the atmosphere, or it's embedded in the ether, depending on how you want to express, expose, and expand it. And finally, we end up from an ego amplification to Christ heart coherence to crystal 12-strand DNA activation. So as we are embarking upon this journey, I am using the competitive advantage report that, again, for a lot of people, you guys, and thank everybody who's taking advantage of that $100 offer. The report will be going to $299, so we'll do another, couple of days or so. So for anybody that has not already received the DNA or the old AI, the new AI, and then the permanent AI system, you can go ahead and pick up that report because you need it in 2025. And the reason that you need your competitive advantage in 2025 is because of the frequencies that have been sent by the batar, or by the generator, the oscillator, the vibrator. That just simply means that your DNA has been upgraded, like I shared with you guys earlier, and we've done many shows before expressing, exposing, and expanding the importance of understanding that how your DNA has been upgraded. And today's numbers, or today's competitive report examples that I'll be going through, is a true indication. Again, we're using Brother Osama's numbers, Dr. Jerome Span's numbers, and Dr. Arlene's numbers, just to show you, even that's when I did mine, Sister Coleman's, Sister Amika, Dr. Martinet, and on. As we go through all of these numbers, it gives you an elevated awareness, because there are things in it that even I did not see, because of being able to marry all three AIs. So we are combining the ancestral intelligence, the artificial intelligence, which is the ego or the lowest vibration of you. Then we go up to the ancestors, and then we go up to authenticity, which is source. So the goal is to combine all three AI systems. You won't hear too many people talking about, the higher levels of artificial reality. I was talking to my boy Brother Osama, and he was talking about, if you haven't played around with, or just at least went to YouTube and watch some of the videos on the Google VEO3 video programming, which is really what we are talking about, because we talked about this yesterday. And what I mentioned yesterday is you are already in a virtual reality. You're already in a simulation. It's just that it's wild to think that you're not artificial. You're not your ancestors. You are a source. You are authentic source. But as long as you're playing the game, you can't program the game. But the way that you program the game is to get out of the game, get out of your mind, will, emotions, imagination, and your intellect, and go back to source, become one with source. Now, that's almost impossible because now you have to be able to be a watcher. So the key to the game is to watch the game. Now, I don't know about you, but that's difficult to watch, like while I'm speaking, to sit and watch me speak. So it's like, in order to program the game, you have to get out of the game. But you are a character that you put in the game. I watched the movie Pixels last night. And again, I'll probably watch it again, and I was talking about the pixels per inch. So your pixels, you do not have enough pixels. So what we're doing with the competitive advantage report is giving you more pixels. These are more pictures. These are just more descriptions. These are more adverbs. These are more adjectives. These are more frequencies, more ways, more verbs and vibrations, because there's a pixel war going on. And if you notice in the movie Pixels, there were little boxes that were fighting against little boxes. And if you notice, every time somebody lost, they turned into little boxes and they dissolved back to the big box. So it's like you are a bunch of little pixels or little people. And these little pixels or these little people, they dissolve whenever you're not authentic, whenever you're not operating and vibrating in the highest pixelization of the cells. And so what we're doing is we're giving you more pixels so that way you can be authentically yourself. Because there is no self, there's just source. But the ego makes you think you're separated from source. The ego makes you think that you're playing, that you are the character in the game. The ego makes you think that you are the code writer when you're watching all three. You're actually in the ninth heaven. But we spend all our time 3, 6, 9. So Tesla said if you know the secrets of 3, you can live there. 6, you can live there. 9, you can live there. But the goal is for you to understand 3, 6, and 9. So that way you can shine. But it's difficult to shine when you are operating in 3, 6, or 9. So you got to go one more, and that's where we get to 12. And then from 12, we go back to 3. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 and 1 is 3. And that's a circle. 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. That's the simulation. So we got to master the simulation. You got to create your own simulation. Your own simulation is your own empire. So let's break down Brother Osama's simulation. The thing that, like all of these simulation reports that we are going through today, it's extremely important that you get your own simulation. So that way you can understand and become a conscious capitalist empire builder. And then you now are able to build your own empire that other people can, again, dream off of. But Osama is what is called the grounded mystic strategist. And if anybody listens to or, gleam into any of Brother Osama's TikTok videos especially, you will see this grounded. Remember that? For a young guy, I have always been impressed with Brother Osama's ability to connect, because the first thing that comes out as a grounded mystic strategist is the ability to walk between worlds, the ability to bridge worlds with his intuitive, sharpened intellect and his empathic, empowered endurance that creates a mysticism that is grounded in method. Now remember, each one of these paragraphs are actually systems. So there is at least different, just depending on which system, which paragraph registers the most. So Brother Osama says, you're not here to entertain the chaos, you're here to restore sacred order. So you just don't feel energy. You read it, you catalog it, you organize it, and then you channel it. And so you're both a seer and a scribe. So Brother Osama holds the blueprint of sacred systems. So he's able to bring these blueprints of sacred systems to life, not by noise, but by a disciplined process or procedure. The ability to restore sacred order. When I look at his designed advantage is, number one, self-determined psychological tuning or tune. So that means his fortress, his foundation, his spiritual GPS system is his internal knowing. That prevents surface level distractions. That's one of the things that really stands out about Brother Osama is his internal knowing, which leads to number two. So that's his whole system. Self-determined psychological tuning. That's a whole course system, books, shows, workshops, websites. Organizing intuition with a systematic expression. The ability to channel your intuition into order. Remember, Dr. Martinez was the ability to channel intuition into money. Notice the ability to channel the intuition to create order, to build the workflow. That's the second system. The third system is the absorber, the ability to absorb wisdom, which is one of, again, his greatest assets, especially for somebody on the outside looking in, because, as you know, especially for us Al-Kibilan men, it's difficult for us to connect with other Al-Kibilan men because we are, we like doing our own thing. We're not necessarily followers. And a lot of that comes from the psychological effects of Willie Lynch and blah, blah, blah. But its ability to, again, one of his greatest, Brother Osama's greatest assets is that his ability to absorb knowledge and wisdom, not only from me, but from other people, and then embody that knowledge, and then reflect, absorb, and then get clarity, which allows him to express it. The third system is the quiet force of endurance. The ability to overcome, he's from the Sudan, now he lives in Canada. So I can't even imagine what life was like in the Sudan, then what life was like in Canada. Maybe I don't know how it's like it is here in the U.S., where the darker the skin, the harder it is to win. So this quiet force of endurance, very strong-willed yet still. Don't fight fire with fire, but outlast fire with patience, with positioning, and with persistence. But again, the ability to fight fire with patience, positioning, and persistence. In the fifth system, detailed vision and earthly precision. He's a cosmic craftsman, which is similar to when we get into Dr. Jerome Span's competitive advantage. So these are all of the 5 systems. And then it always, after these 5 recommended systems, then it says for 2025, it goes and then continues to give recommended courses, programs, books that are used just for this year. First one, Sacred Systems and into a Seamless World. So the ability to create clarity, structure, and discernment. That creates alignment. To build systems that ensure endurance. So seamless systems, clarity, structure, sacred discernment, alignment that creates endurance. All of these are part of his makeup. Again, these are galaxies. Each one of these reports, if built out, for example, if I took this report, this is a 25, the 30, 40, really should be about 100K. If we really if I just took one person's report and really structured out everything in the report, it'd probably be close to 100 books. I don't know how many, maybe 200 modules. And then depending on if the individual actually wants to create video or audio, especially now, we can use something like Google VEO3, where you can create your whole movie, your voice, characters, everything. You don't have to be on screen. You can create your own avatar. I remember there's other programs already out that, some of the stuff that I use, I actually like my voice, I like my image. So people ask me, how come I don't use, I like looking at me. I like the way I look. I like the way I sound. More importantly, I like the fact that I'm authentic, because Google, no matter how great it is, how awesome, and the VEO3 is just one of at least 10 systems that takes text or voice or image and create moving objects. You can take a still picture and turn it into a whole walking, talking character, but it's a still photograph. How do you take a picture? My boy Billy Jean has been doing that a lot. If you go to his Instagram channel or Facebook, all of his ads, those are just individual pictures. You can take a picture of you from 30 years ago and turn it into a whole movie. That is crazy. That's the technology. The ability to, and that's Brother Osama's second gift, the ability to transform energy into productivity. There are few individuals that can move between spiritual insight and practical application. That is powerful. Just that alone, the ability to move between spiritual insight and practical application, that's so needed in today's world. My thing, Brother Osama's, Dr. Span's, Dr. Jerome's, everybody that I've done a report on, so forth, and even the people that I have not, your greatest gift is the fact that your authenticity is rare and highly marketable. So this third system is this ability as a seeker of meaningful impact, the ability to integrate the information that he's obtaining into a highly marketable system. Very few people can do that. Very few. And when you understand that, wow, some people have it and some people don't. If you got it, you want to thank source code that you got it, because, again, a lot of people don't have it. That's why this is so important. Our next is the ability to build peace through precision. Engineered peace. Again, the course, the system, another books, audios, programs, all of this is inside of that. Then what are you here to really offer? His primary product in 2025 is you are a grounded mystic strategist. Simply means that the ability to take quiet competence and speak volumes in a world that's addicted to noise, to reclaim inner rhythm, to offer containment from chaos, to manage and create a spiritual sanctuary in the midst of chaos, because that's what's going on in the world today. The ability, you are one who engineers a new paradigm, not from the mountaintop, but from the blueprint that's inside the soul and the soil. And then it gives out or takes the information and creates his personal brand and website, Osama, the Grounded Mystic. And it goes on and gives him all of the tools that he would need if he wants to extrapolate that into his own system based upon law, order, and flow. Because he's here to build a life and a business that is precise, that is practical, that is powerfully aligned with his inner truth and purpose. So he has a notion or purpose notion-based personal operating system that is called the Grounded Mystic. So his entire system is a spiritual strategy that's able to run or establish the inner temple. And then it goes on and then it lists the strategy that he should be teaching. And number one, how to establish the inner temple. Again, and he goes on and it lists all the things to do. The daily control center combines spiritual grounded and focused execution, starting with the morning ritual, daily structure, priority, spiritual journal for intuitive, I'm going to use the word insights. Then it has sacred law reminders. Next thing after the dashboard, it's called the dashboard that creates the inner temple. It recommends what is called a strategy room for empire building, soul signature. Third thing, it represents the sacred studies. Fourth thing that it represents is a energy center to track your to track your advances and also to reflect upon any obstacles. Next, it represents building a client community hub called Ministry in Motion, where the clients come together and track their sessions, their schedules. There's a structured space for managing client flow and community engagement. Next, it recommends a wealth system for order and overflow that brings about peace and precision in the area of your finances and spiritual provisions. Then it has a recommended bonus session called the Soul Strategy Integration, the ability to use AI agents and artificial intelligence to establish his entire notion-based operating system that is soul-led. As a grounded mystic, his priority is what is called establishing the inner temple. And that represents his psychic ability or his intuitiveness that comes from what? Being born in September. Then it also has, in everybody's report, I have a computer code. I included all of the computer where you can just copy that, upload it into WordPress, and bam, you have your whole website. Everybody has that on your competitive advantage. You have an entire code. You just copy the code. It works really great on any, but I love WordPress because WordPress has these widgets that you can add. And then that's a whole other study for another time, but you can use any computer building site. You know, you can use Wix, WIX, you just name it. Then last, it gives the email sequence. So email number one that you email out when you get ready to prepare your launch. Now you can take the email sequence, turn it into a TikTok sequence, a Instagram sequence, Facebook sequence, TikTok, anything. This just tells you day one, send this out. Day two, send this out. So this is your launch. This is your funnel. You can take this and put it actually on the website. This is for anybody's system. So this tells you exactly step by step what to do in order for you to launch your system online and be, let's use the word, successful. Now remember, this comes with every competitive advantage report. Not just for those summers. I'm just going through his before we get to Dr. Span's. And the reason that I'm going through these is to not only for, Dr. Span and for everybody else numbers that we've been talking about, but to make sure that everybody else that has, that number one, how to read it. But more importantly, the most important takeaway out of everything that we're talking about today is for you to see you. This is so powerful to generating the get off the sofa, take action disposition. Because we're fighting a war. And unfortunately, I was, and I said with the text this morning, I was talking with the wife last night, different people, family members. A lot of people are going through. A lot of people are under, and I like talking to people and using words. People stop listening when you say a word that doesn't register with their system. So I just talk until I notice, and then the person will stop. And after that point, they don't hear shit. Because that's the trigger, because that word is not inside of the reticular activating system. Brother Osama and myself and other people that's born in the month of September, we have the ability to see energy and to see how your energy stops you from accumulating. Because remember, what happens when you get this report is called psychological death. If you're not prepared for it, this report helps you get over your psychological death. It's happening now. If it hasn't happened, stick around, get your popcorn. Most people can't even stomach or digest the title. Busy, the ego, the number one coping mechanism is busyness. Man, I have never seen a time where everybody's so busy. They're too busy to literally invest in and take care of themselves. What I'm expressing, exposing, and expanding to you today is the most dangerous thing for you, because I'm showing you a part of you that you don't believe is possible. It's like the 30-day morning mirror money or money mirror mantras. The book and the audio that I just did. 30 days. You can't do that for 30 days. There has not been that one person that's been able to do that for 30 days. Your brain, I guarantee you there's nobody on this call or off this call, and people that listen to this in the future, you don't even fucking got to get to my book. You can just Google, you just go to ChatGPT or any artificial intelligence and tell it to generate 30 different mantras that has to do with wealth and money and finance. So you ain't got to pay me I think $100 for the book and the audio. You can do it yourself. You ain't gonna be able to do it. Guaranteed. Because it took me 50 years to get to the point where I could do it. And I'm the most stubborn, anal retentive mother that I know. And there's very few, other than by my boy, maybe Goggins and a couple of other high-end, like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. I haven't met too many people that have that same Mamba disposition. I don't know if you know Kobe Bryant's story, why, they had to excommunicate him, if you want to use that term. Same thing as Dr. Miles Monroe. There are people that are born because stubbornness as the sin of witchcraft. But nobody know that witchcraft is switchcraft. Witchcraft, a witch, is an export in grammatus. That's all a witch is. When you understand what a witch is, it's like Lilith. It's like when we was going through Sister Amika's report. The ability for you to switch. The word witch means switch. It means you could be talking to me and then my whole personality switch. It's like, what the fuck happened? Like, what's going on? It's like in the movie, that's why I resonated so much with with that movie with my boy, let me think I'm trying to remember the name of it. But you guys know what I'm talking about, where he, had 1,000 characters. The same guy, he played in the movie Glass as well. What was the name of that movie? I know what one of you guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, same thing. The dude played multiple characters because he had multiple personality disorder. He had dissociative disorder. He was bipolar, schizophrenic, all of those. Remember, all psychological disorders are digestive disorders. Because I grew up in an environment where I wasn't given food. I was forced to fast, and all I ate was Snickers all day. That led to, number one, dental issues, but number two, psychological disorders. All psychological disorders, bar none, are digestive disorders. Thanks, Brother Jibade. Split. The movie, I knew one of you guys knew what I was talking about. Like, I don't know if you guys heard of split personality disorder. Or, even though the movie Split, there's a video game called Split. Now, y'all, I'm sure, is there anybody on this call that hasn't seen the movie Split? And remember, the only reason he didn't kill, the only reason I'm alive But I'm flawed. As I said yesterday, you have to stop suppressing Lilith. Everybody's got a Lilith. Most people I know, they don't like Lilith. Lilith killed on kids, murder. Lilith was a bitch. Lilith was like the women you see on Dayline that kill their husband and bury their ass in their backyard. Yeah, that's Lilith. She'll fuck you up. Our Christians be running. Why do you think Lilith is not in the Bible? What happens? How hard does it take to suppress Lilith? The dark side, your shadow. Now remember, I'm a 6. If you're a 6, you are Lilith. And you hate it. You bury Lilith. That's all that energy it takes to keep the real you hidden is why you can't vibrate and oscillate in authentic, which allows you to connect with the ancestors and make you eligible to use artificial intelligence. You cannot use artificial intelligence if you don't embody all your ancestors. You cannot embody your ancestors if you're not authentic. And you can't reverse engineer it either. So you got artificial intelligence, the ancestors, and authenticity. Or you got authenticity, which then allows you to connect with the ancestors, so that when now you're eligible to expand what the ancestors and what God sourced in the form of you, which is your particles, which is your pixels, which is in the movie. When they kill somebody on Earth, they dissolve into a bunch of little boxes, cubes. The cube represents Saturn, Saturnalia. When you unfold the cube, you get the mother, beep, 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 cross. It's the brain, the Abraham, or the Amun, or what is called Amun's horn, or Amun. So if you look at the coronal radiata, that is the AMMON. That's your brain. It's the little pixels, which are neurons. How many neurons you got in your brain? You know every neuron in your brain is a person. What? That's how powerful you are. Each one, just like this report. So we just knocked out Brother Osama's. Now I've got to get Dr. Spain. Now I've known Dr. Spain for a long time, her and the hubby. They're good folks. I say Dr. Jerome's for last because Dr. Jerome's kind of threw me off a little bit. From the perspective of, it was I've always seen him as a spiritual warrior, independent. He had a lot of wands and stuff. I never really saw that part. I know his wife probably sees it all the time because she's married to him. But I never really saw him as a fire starter. Now I've always seen Dr. Arlene's fan as a caregiver, as an ambassador of caring. But hers is, her unique spiritual advantage over everybody else is she's cosmically encoded to heal, uplift, and restore every space she enters. Man, OMG. I think about all the rewards that you've gotten. That's what I said. Dr. Spence, you guys were on the call last night when I was recommending that everybody in the call, I'm still recommending it. I'm still hoping that, we all, everybody pitching $1,000, whatever. Or everybody just, pay their own way up there, whatever. Like if I was at the space already, I would just pay everybody's way. But we need to go back to that same space or another space. And I get you guys in Maryland, right? Dr. Spence? I think it's Maryland. I just want to say Virginia. I think it's Maryland. I remember I got lost and I ended up in Virginia when I was just riding around. And I had to call you guys because I flew into the wrong airport. Another story for another time. But I want to go back to Dr. Span, Dr. Jerome, and do another seminar where everybody talks about and shares their competitive advantage with the group. Market it, blah, blah, blah. But what's the point? The ability to, and Dr. Span set everything up. When I got there, she had folders. She had printed out tickets. She had printed out there was food. Dr. Span set everything up. I just showed up. I was so impressed with her organizational skills. That's why everybody, and this is what I've been harping on. If I had a spiritual baseball bat, like, man, I love you, but I have to hit you in the head. I noticed how many people are able to influence Dr. Span to support their system. Right, Dr. Span? She's on everybody's platform. Y'all see her on Facebook? She be speaking here, she over there. But very rarely, every once in a while, she's like, you know, on the platform. Usually she's supporting the platform. And if you look at what her cosmic advantage is, and then she's married to a fire starter. So she's emotionally sovereign. She's cosmically coded to heal, uplift, and restore space. Every space she enters, because she embodies the sacred feminine wisdom. Now, remember, what's missing on the planet is feminine wisdom. We got a lot of testosterone. We got a lot of Negroes with a lot of, egos and arrogance and cockiness and all this testosterone, all the male shit. We ain't got too much feminine. Most women are masculine. Most women have to enter in this space. They got to be men. You got like, if you ever seen a female cop, man, I saw this female cop when I went to my daughter's graduation at Prairie View, and she was standing there. I never seen a woman stand with her legs spread open, like she got balls. She had her hands crossed, and she was just standing there mean bugging everybody like a dude. I knew she was a dyke. You could just tell the aura, the energy. But damn, she was light-skinned, green eyes, beautiful woman. But man, are you serious? I wouldn't let that energy around her. Okay, that's another thing for that time. So the beautiful thing about Dr. Span is she embodies the intelligence of the sacred feminine essence. Gentle, yet powerful and intuitive and nurturing. So she's the ambassador. Now, I like the word the ambassador of love, but really the ambassador of feminine energy. It's the ambassador. Well, we call it love because it's a fusion, again, reading from her report, it's a fusion of cosmic parenting, intuitive authority, and dependable truth. That's what makes her the most, or one of the most powerful frequencies on the planet. So they are, Dr. Jerome just texted me, said that, so they are definitely in Maryland. And so that's very, very strategic because of its, Washington, D.C., right off the street, blah, blah, blah. So next is her designed advantage. So God designed her, and each one of these are programs. So number one is what I call compassion with cosmic structure. Damn. What? That'll preach for years. You are the glue and the soul of a system, the heartbeat behind the brilliance, the one who listens, the one who designs, but let others build. That's why even I have to apologize or take a step back because she's designed by God to do what she do. I always see Dr. Span as the keynote speaker. And she has that capacity. But her heartbeat, her brilliancy, comes from her ability to listen. Something that she did for me, she does for other people. The ability to listen. Then design an entire program. But let others build. That's a superpower. Then she has this compassionate cosmic structure. Nurturing doesn't come from emotion alone. Her nurturing comes from understanding frequencies, waves, verbs, and vibrations. So she doesn't just feel what people need. She has the ability to plan what people need. Which that thing that she did for me. When I got there, I didn't tell her to do none of that. She knew what I desired or wanted and was able to plan to create containers where love can live, work, and flourish, whether it's business, whether it's at home, or whether it's in the community. I don't know, Dr. Span, how many community awards have you received from your community, from the mayors, from different churches and different organizations? Like every other month, I'm on social media and I'm seeing Dr. Span receiving another award from some organization because of her skill set. So that's number one, compassion with cosmic structure. Number two, mental stability with spiritual anchoring. One thing about Dr. Span is her mental, she's another person that I talk about my boy Brother Rich all the time. But Dr. Span and Dr. Jerome, I know I've said stuff. Dr. Jerome said, yeah, I know he don't like when I be dropping the F-bombs. Yet Dr. Jerome has never charged me up, called me, or texted me and said, yo, dog, I like your stuff, man, but bruh, he let me be me. Dr. Span has never, I know I'm disappointed and maybe didn't do this or that, but I never even picked up the vibe that they were disappointed, something that I've said or done. That stability, that ability to be able to offer sound, I'm going to use the word judgment, without expressing verbally. So her ability is, it says, because you can listen, interpret, and lead with profound inner clarity. Doesn't have to be all loud and boisterous. So that's the second system. Teaching other people how to do that. How to be mentally stable and spiritually anchored. The third system, the divine planner, or the planner archetype. So it says that you don't crave to build the bricks yourself. You crave to see the whole cathedral. You crave to see the architecture, its essence, and then empower others to bring it into form. In her report, the thing that really blew me away is the amount of clarity, of loyalty, dependability, groundedness, and engagement. The next system is the salt of the earth system, spiritual stabilizer. Man, that one, Dr. Span, that will preach right there. That's a book, of course. A whole course on how to become a spiritual stabilizer in chaotic times. Similar to what we mentioned with Brother Osama said, his was an internal temple builder. Yours is the start of the earth builder, the spiritual stabilizer. Because remember, the times are chaotic. People are looking for stability. But their external stability comes from internal. So Negroes' brains are unstable because they keep, everybody is, again, I don't want to disrespect nobody. But you know how many people on this call right now are in a situation and it's fucking occupying their mind. They cannot not think about the problem. I don't give a fuck how much you talk, tell them, you could give them a book, you can put them in a class, you could talk to them all day, and as soon as we hang up with this call, you know they're going to talk about the problem. That has to be, Dr. Span, that your job, that you have this cosmic structuring so people can see the solution instead of the problem. Problems are on TV. Problems are in the news. Problems are your mama, your daddy, your aunt, people calling you, your kids got problems. Everybody got fucking problems. Nobody is talking about the solution. And even if you can, it lasts for how long? How long can you be solution-oriented? Can you go one day without talking about a problem? I don't think so, man. I talk to people every day. The hardest thing, I took the wife out to dinner again last night. Because of, it's crazy. You gotta be careful, so without getting into too much of her information, mine too. So we got, husbands, men, we already know that we're not allowed. Now, saw this TikTok video and I was going to share it with other people and the wife, and I knew women would probably get pissed off. Because I don't know if you guys saw this black lady, she's explaining, like, she just found out what men like me and Dr. Jerome do. Real men. You know, real men, we don't have room, time, and space to have a pity party. We can't get overwhelmed. Right, Dr. Jerome? Everybody is depending on us. Superman can't take off his fucking cape. I tell you guys all the time, like, and this was the first time I heard a black woman express, and she was shocked. She was in, like, had to be at least 40, maybe 35, like, you know. I mean, she was on TikTok, and I almost shared it, but I knew because this is exactly what I was telling the wife last night. What I would encourage, which is part of Dr. Span's design, mental stability and spiritual anchoring when you are emotionally overwhelmed because nothing is going right. And I was saying, the wife was like, yeah, but, you know, you just disconnected and blah, blah, blah. You know what greatest power is? Everything else that everybody's going through right now, so the coma, I went through it at 13. Like, people are experiencing shit, and I'm like, death, homelessness, no food, you know, no house, no car, it was your own daddy tell you to get the fuck out. Like, people go through shit and they are emotionally buried. I'm like, what? Like, breaking down because of the stress. So whatever you suppress becomes your stress. I don't really suppress nothing. So if I feel like dropping an F-bomb, I'm fucking say an F-bomb. Some people gonna like it, some people ain't gonna like it. We gotta create systems to help people, especially now because the young people coming up, they don't have the skill sets that us older folks have. Like Reverend Shuttle. Reverend Shuttle is another sound. I haven't done her numbers and stuff yet on her competitive thing, but I already know. Because I watch how she is able to be grounded yet engaged. So Dr. Span, the spiritual stabilizer aspect of your competitive advantage report really speaks to my soul. Because the people that I do counseling a lot. And the one thing that I'm seeing is people do not have what you have, which is called emotional gravity. Your competitive advantage is, number one, you are the answer to earned out culture. In a world, again, go back to your point, in a world full of emotional overwhelm, you have productivity obsession. That simply means that you are a strategic leader with sacred timing. You attract devotion, not just attention. You are the foundation of movements, which again speaks to your stabilization in what is called a soul strategist. You are the core, which speaks to your ability to be the foundation for a lot of structure, a lot of organizations. Then it says what you should really offer. This really good one. In addition to all of that, this is what you should really offer. It says you're not a coach. You restore confidence in people's ability to be loved while growing. Damn. Love people while they are growing. Love people while they're growing. That's what you do. I watch you over all of these years that I've known you, since I've seen you, how you have supported programs, different stuff, even to my own disagreement. I don't know how many times, I've told you, Dr. Span, said, well, why you on that fool's platform? You know what I mean? No, you remember? So, and I owe you an apology because really, you're doing exactly what God designed and gifted you to do. It says you don't strategize, you create blueprints where love and order can coexist in the feminine architect. You are the feminine architect of empires. You are the divine strategist of secret workspace. You are the heart that holds the mission and gives it rhythm, reason, and resonance. You are what the world is missing. I can keep going on, but if I keep reading, I get emotional. Like I'm fighting back tears right now. I've known you for a long time, Dr. Span, and even I've misjudged the depth. If I make a mistake, I'm going to tell everybody. I mean, I see in your work and your values, sis, but like I said, you've always been in the space because I've always seen like, man, like, and even with Dr. Jerome, because both of y'all are so, supportive. Even with me and everything I do, and you guys have been supporting me for years. Y'all purchase everything I do. There's nobody in the group, in this, the people that I know that have been more supportive of me and my wife. You came to my house. We sat down and, we went to restaurants in Dallas. You came to seminars. You put on a seminar for me. Y'all are good people. I tell you this all the time. I'm not just saying it just to blow smoke because it's just in your numbers. It's in your report. And the thing that I missed or did not amplify the way that your numbers and your competitive advantage amplifies. Love isn't just what you give. It's the structure, the mental structure that you build. So that's why it's so important. Because your purpose, the world needs emotional safety, intuitive leader, but they need a space. That's why people want you on their program. Because your feminine wisdom creates strategic clarity. Whatever system is, whatever space you are in, you bring that to wherever you go. That's why everybody wants you on their program. I mean, everything makes sense. Your entire life makes sense. Now you are the ambassador of, and the thing is says OS. You are the ambassador of operating systems. You can go to any business, and your feminine-rooted emotional intelligence supports the operating system from a cosmic-led, cosmic nurturing, cosmic intuitive, and you can take out the word cosmic, put in the word spiritual, that helps the leaders, whoever the leaders are, run the business, serve the people, and protect the community. That's what you do. You've been doing this, so you might as well get paid for it. You can offer your services to whether it's me or anybody else, because every organization needs the feminine energy that allows the leader to run the business, serve the people, and protect the community through peace. Very, very, very important, since that you really see, because you're already doing it, but the devil is in the details. So is God. Man, and then I skipped over a lot of it because, like I said, some of it's so deep that it's very, very, that's the one part of it that's called, you should create your own embassy for daily sacred, like a place, almost like a yoga studio where, like I said, there's music, maybe that's mats, but it's called the embassy for daily sacred. It's almost like a place to get recharged. Another thing is called a vision and planning center. Love and legacy headquarters. I can just see it, man. I can see Dr. Arlene Span's love and legacy headquarters, vision and planning headquarters. That's just one. Then another example, the soul sanctuary, nourishment and restoration of the soul. This one is huge. Home, order, and peace. Stabilizing households and stabilizing communities by home, energy, organization, space, sanctuary, security. So I think about your home. I think about what you guys do with your, with your son and your daughter. And every time I talk to you, you tell me, "Hey, I'm on the way here." As soon as I get off the call with this, that the space that you create Dr. Span, stabilizing the household. You can stabilize communities. Man, the ability to create spiritual structure in this earthly plane. Then there's another one called Ministry of Love, the mission, and it's called the Messaging Vault. All this is in your report, so you got to read it. Like, this shit is off the chain. And then there's another one called creating and building a provisional temple. Creating what is called a sacred money tracker that's based upon the energetic exchange, teaching people to create based on love, value, and emotional labor. Build a whole course around creating this sacred energy exchange, a provisional temple. And then it has the email sequence and everything, the computer code and everything else. It's like, man, your competitive report out of all the ones, because I know you personally, and the takeaway that I've always taken is like, it, because from my perspective, it always seemed like he was just taking a back seat. And so I just assumed, I was like, well, why is she taking the back seat? Oh, shit, I know the answer to that question now. So once again, it says, I owe you an apology because what you've been doing your entire life is exactly what you're supposed to do, what God called you to do. Last but not least is the hubby, Dr. Jerome. Same thing. I've always saw Dr. Jerome, like on his Dear Canoe report and stuff, and on the cover of his Dear Canoe report, there's a spiritual warrior, like independent, strong, intellectual, go-getter, all of that stuff that's inside of your Dear Canoe report. But I never thought about the word fire, because you got I think you got 2 or 3 number 3s in this life optimization circle in the main 12 numbers. But yours pop up as you have a rare mix, Dr. Jerome, of courage, creativity, and charisma, which is a cause-driven clarity. I always think about one of the things that you told me when we first met, and you explained to me, and my wife started doing it too, how you vacation during the week. I'm sorry, we went out to eat during the week. Like last night was Tuesday. Why? And everybody else is working. Everybody else got to go to bed because they got to get up the next day. And you said something, Dr. Jerome, I don't know if you remember when you told me this, that said that you are unemployable. Do you remember when you told me that? I think it was at that restaurant in Houston or Dallas or somewhere. That has always resonated with me. That's the first thing that Pop says, you are not made for routine. Man, you talk about boom. You are made to ignite movements, amplify ideals, and break norms. Because all the ones in your chart. You can't conform to norms. It's kind of like, I think it was Sister Mika's we was reading, she can't fit in boxes. You're the same way, Dr. Jerome. You can't conform to rituals, routines. That's why last night, I'm pretty sure you're still unemployable, right? You still doing you still been doing the compassionate car care. For most of you guys that don't know, he's always had his own mobile, auto mechanic shop. And I always say, man, how come you don't get a building and set up shop, hire other people, oversee it, blah, blah, blah. Now I understand. Because his report says your mind is electric. Your voice is a compass for the collective. So it says that you are the spark. It's something like the spark plug in a car. So you are the spark in people. It explains the way by which, your family life and everything I know about, you, the family, the kids, and how you guys operate. Man, this is spot on because it says you have the ability to turn a spark into a wildfire. So you are the catalyst for conversation. You have the ability to launch revolutions. You have the ability to wake up sleeping minds. So you are a creative fire starter because you have inventive vision. You are an intellectual explorer, and you are an energetic communicator. A social leader who thrives in expression, thrives in freedom, and thrives in truth. Those are all the attributes that you embody, like 100%. And then it goes deeper and it gets into your advantages in 2025. Again, each one of these are books, systems, classes, courses. Number one, independent thinker fueled by vision. You're not fueled by money. You're not fueled by, chi-chis and badonky-donks. You are fueled by vision. So you don't need approval to take action. Your ideals, your vision, your desire is the fire that are the fuel that fuels your independent thinking. The ability to share that as a product, service, or information to help people tap into, because we are so externally driven. Most people get their spark externally. Yours comes from your vision. That's one product. Next was this creativity plus cause equals influence. It says that you're not just a creative, just like a creator or very creative. So you want your creations to mean something. You want to move minds, stir souls, inspire change. That's a whole system. Then the next is being versatile plus socially magnetic. Again, man, I think about the seminar we did in Dallas when you got on the stage and you and the wife, how, again, socially magnetic. So you can speak to anyone. You understand cultures, perspectives, and people. Whether in the boardroom, studio, on stage, or on the streets. You have the ability to adapt and amplify. And I think about all of the conversations, and I think about how no matter where we go, no matter who we talk to, how it's so easy for you to interact with other people. That's the whole system. Because a lot of people are socially awkward, especially this younger generation, because of so much time spent on social media. Next, your competitive advantage is action-oriented but spontaneous. So I think about how, especially when it comes to what you currently do in the automotive space. Because your genius lies in starting fire, creating momentum, and rallying people behind bold ideals. So you have this ability to mobilize. And then another recommendation is this courageous spiritual quickening. The ability to you carry a type of originality that makes systems shift. And I think about your originality that made my system shift. And I told you guys, because, I wouldn't say that, we was on when we met you and your wife, that me and the wife was on the verge of divorce, but we was in a dark place. And I told you guys before, I haven't met a couple that I would want to structure a relationship after, except for you guys. All of the examples that I've seen, are from most spiritual people, pastors and their wives and so on and so forth. And they one way at church, but then you see them in the parking lot or you see them at home, it's totally different. But I notice, again, the relationship that you and the wife have. You and Dr. Dr. Arlene. And that just comes from your competitive advantage. This ability that you have to see, people don't come to you for replication. They come to you for a revolution. So you have the ability to not just deliver, but to awaken. But that's not even that's not, these are all recommendations. Then we get to what should you be doing in 2025, the recommendation, in addition to all of that stuff. Then it goes even deeper. It says, you are here to build, you are built for the creator economy. Again, that's something that was like, man, because of, what you're doing now. Because in a world where authentic currency and authenticity is king, so you are a natural broadcaster of authentic, bold ideas. So you are not faking influence, you are influence. And that's the thing that really stands out. I've told you that for a long time. It's like, you are one of the few people that what you see is what you get. You're not no fluff dude. One of the things that I always tell everybody is like, you one of those guys that, shoot from the hip and, you real. You're not trying to impress nobody. The biggest thing that I've always said, and I remember I've told you this 1,000 times, my brother, I've never met a black man more comfortable in his skin than you. And that's the God's honest truth. I ain't trying to blow no smoke up your butt. It's like I've never seen a man that comfortable. Remember how we would go out to eat and stuff, and we'd be sitting there, but your energy, your awareness, but not trying to impress. Like me, I'm cautious. If I go out somewhere, I want to make sure that, I'm sure you do the same thing, but not to the point that you are uncomfortable. So your level of comfort in the midst of a crowd has always, one of the things that always stood out about it, like you are real comfortable in your own, you comfortable being you. I haven't met nobody that's that comfortable being themselves. Everybody got, we all got a little, we want to work on this, we want to work on that. We are cautious, we're aware of how other people perceive us. Your numbers and you, because having been around you and hung out with you guys for a while, for a lot, same thing is coming out. You do not fake it. Like you are who you show up as. You are influence. You're not faking it. So most people crave the spotlight, and they are willing to lose their soul in the process. Not you. Your thing is to the ability you can lead from the front without losing yourself. That is something that is always, that's all, teaching people how not to sell their soul for influence. Like it's hard not to sell your soul because if it's like if I'm making a proposal and I'm doing a business proposal, and you know that the person, let's say you're asking someone for funding, and you know that you're going to a bank or you're going to a group of investors or whatever, so you want to tailor your proposal to fit the dispositions of the people that you're talking to. Well, you don't have that issue because you don't thrive the spotlight, which is why it's okay for you being a mobile mechanic versus being on the stage, being seen by thousands of people, because you're not in it for validation. You're in it for vibration. So you stir people. You don't want to be seen by people. That's cool, man. That little shift, bro. That shit. That most people be in it for validation. I mean, especially like most. It took me 50 years to get to a point where I could do it without validation, as long as I had the vibration. You've been embodying that. I just recently got to the point where I realized now I have to stop allowing external validation to override my internal revelation. You are what is called a natural broadcaster. So that's a whole psychological program. A natural or authentic broadcaster. Fuck what everybody else thinks and wants. Natural expression of the soul. Natural. No fluff. Man, that's deep. The next one is The ability to pivot without panic. Or I could write that book today, bro. Pivot without panic. Boredom doesn't scare you. It guides you. What? So your adaptability and availability is your asset in this rapidly changing market, media, and culture. You don't break under pressure. You bend pressure into a revolution and reinvention. This ability to don't panic when you have to pivot. Like I just came out, I remember I've been telling you guys for the last 2 years, thankfully, it's part of my frequency. I didn't panic, but I was concerned. We take it to the next system. Your ability to translate energy into action. The biggest brands, movements, and companies today, they're all fueled by visionaries like you. Because people have to figure out how to translate their energy into action. A lot of people got energy, but they're putting it into the wrong place. They're putting it into worry, or they're putting it into fear instead of faith. You have the ability to help people translate their energy into action. Because your action is fueled by your vision. Your action is improved by validation. Oh, that'll preach right there. The ability to teach people, okay, how do I establish a vision that fuels my energy instead of having my energy fueled by social media validation? Everybody's on social media for mother clicks. People are selling their souls for clicks. Thankfully, I've never fell for it. I'm not interested in a bunch of, what good is it having 1 million followers and you broke? I got 10 followers and I'm good. I would have 10 followers in a mill, but I can't tell or teach that to the young folks. You like me, bro. Now again, I was born with that attribute and characteristic. You were always. I'm new to this, but you true to this. This is your natural essence. You ain't got to take no classes. Like you don't have to learn this shit like I did. You really, honestly, and that's what I'm saying. They're like, when I said, if you guys meet Dr. Jerome, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, but this dude's a cool cucumber. So that is what really young black men needs. Cool. Pivot under pressure. This is, you don't just create, you spark consciousness. You don't just run a business, you launch revolutions, social and spiritual and cultural. You don't just communicate well, you channel truth that people didn't know they needed. Damn, that's what you did for me, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. You channeled truth I didn't even know I needed until you said it. All of the conversations that we've had have been life changing. So I don't know if I'm more your life coach than you are mine, because we both have you guys have had just as much of an impact on my life as I've had on yours. You are a creative fire starter. You are an ideal igniter. Your freedom is a fueling or fueled force of nature. So you were never meant to play small, to settle down, or to sit down. As a creative fire starter, how to use your ideals or your vision to ignite your soul, bam, whole course program. How to use freedom. Now you told me you unemployable, meaning you value freedom over finances. You know that your freedom fuels your finances. Your finances doesn't fuel your freedom. Man, that's too deep for most folk, bro. That's too deep. So your force, your power, your fire comes from your freedom, which comes from your vision. So when I set up your landing page for the website, It starts with inspire, activate, lead with impact. So you specialize with turning raw potential into radiant expression, born with a high creative voltage. You don't just talk, you transmit. Ooh, that's deep. Because fire, again, is the thing that ignites movements. So you don't wait for permission, you move with purpose. So your work isn't cute. Your work isn't a click. Your work is a catalyst. Powerful stuff, bro. As a creative fire starter, your purpose-based operating system operates on high energy visions. Man, bro, helping people construct high energy visions. That, man, for me personally, that one really speaks to my soul. You are a vision engine. Everybody got a vision, bro. I know everybody says, hey, what do you want to be? What's your goal, your destiny? But that shit is not high energy. Or you want to work at McDonald's and flip five. Okay, if you're 12, that might be good. You naturally, bro, born with it. You told me, first time I met you, like, I'm unemployable. Because I've been unemployable since 13. I just didn't know it. I beat myself up about it. I kept, for 68 times, bro, I kept running back to Egypt. God, get me out, I'll run back. A lot of people, they God frees you, get you out of prison. It's like the inmates, man, the citizen rate when I worked in the prison system. Inmates would leave, I'd be checking them out, processing them out. I say, man, we won't see you back. I said, bro, I'm going to be back in 2 weeks. They knew they was coming back. Sure enough. So then when I worked at the penitentiary in Mexico up in Santa Fe, man, the fools would get out. They said, man, I'll be back in 2 weeks. They knew they was coming back. They had no desire to get out because their vision was too small. So the ability to help, especially young black men, they got vision. What is their vision? To go work for someone that don't even look like them and definitely don't like them. That ain't no fucking vision. That's a prison. So we have to inspire high energy visions. A system of high energy visionaries, messengers, and movers and shakers and makers. That's your operating system. The ability to turn creative chaos into conscious construction. And the recommendation is to create a command hub, or what they call a ignition station. Young men come in and you teach them it's a center for creative fire, not for suppression. Can you imagine a learning center where people could come in and get their fire, get their vision powered, instead of going on and telling Negroes to go get a job? Literally, I mean, there are some people, again, especially that are designed for that. But for the people that are not, let them know that, hey, you don't lack passion. You lack fuel, which comes from vision. And then creating what is called a movement map. And it tells you how to do that in the 90-day Fire Starter program. A personal decision matrix. A multi-dimensional planner. A thought leadership school. A repurposing flow chart. Content plus presence. A weekly content plus your presence breaks the algorithm and the barriers of pain. Man, this creative, and then it's a project alchemy room, from ideals to launch. Being able to sit down with young people, old people too, and take them from idea to launch. Project Alchemy School, Project Alchemy Room, Project Alchemy online course. All of this, and this, what you do is you build a step-by-step system by taking this and turn it into digital offers, merchandise, clothing, books, podcasts, and that's with each one of these ideals. But just take the one that resonates with you the most. Next recommendation is create a freedom flow business where wealth, value, and alignment creates income. Freedom isn't a fantasy. It's a systemized result of aligned purpose. Next is a playground for expression. Like doing seminars where teaching people the creative flow recovery system. So again, these are all just ideals that are recommended based upon, just like I said with Brother Osama, with the wife, and the other ones that we've done before. These competitive advantages, these are just not, these literally are purpose-based operating systems that allow you to channel or take God and put it into a product, service, or information, because this is stuff that comes from your heart. So the ability to create out of everything that we've talked about, my brother, especially for you, the ability to build a high-energy visionary school. Because everybody, I've never heard a high-energy vision. I've heard high-energy this, another, but a vision, but it doesn't remember. Whatever is frequently repeated that generates an emotional response, high energy. Creating an energy tracking system. Helping people by creating a daily flow chart or a playground for high energy visionary expression. And all of this stuff can be AI powered hubs. Meaning you can create an app, you create websites, and then I have the code in there for the landing page. And then we got the email sequencing report. Day one, first subject, stop starting, start igniting. You are a visionary. You're a rebel. You're a creative leader. So when you are, talking to a group of people, you're teaching them how to add fire to their vision. So that's what day one. Then you got day two, day three. So it's a 5-day launch or leadership. You can turn this also into courses. You can turn it into 5 modules. Turn it into 5 books. I mean, the sky is limited. The sky is unlimited. It's just, unlimited by your creativity and your imagination. But the biggest thing, Dr. Jerome, man, is the creative aspects of your energy, not just the independence and the leadership. So I know you got, I think 2 or 3 threes in there, but this report really brings that out to the front because this creative firestorm is the name or the trademark that is recommended, for yours versus, looking at the wife, and her is more of the ambassador. And we've used that term before, if I remember, ambassador of love, but this is more the ambassador for me of this cosmically encoded or cosmically embedded feminine wisdom. So the ambassador of sacred feminine wisdom, or the ambassador, just the word ambassador, or the ambassador of cosmic encoding, the ambassador of love, or just the word, the ambassador of OS, the ambassador of operating systems, for you, Dr. Span. And then when we started off with my boy, Brother Osama. Brother Osama's yours fit perfectly, man. I wouldn't change, so I had nothing on yours. Because again, you are mystic, and you are grounded, and you are a good strategist. So you are the grounded, mystical, or mystic strategist. And each one of these, man, it's so powerful how when you are authentic and you connect with your authentic intelligence, connects with your ancestral intelligence, which is your DNA, then you're eligible to connect with artificial intelligence, because the artificial intelligence, instead of it becoming intelligence, it becomes, again, a automation. So artificial intelligence, I'm not interested. Authentic automation, authentic scale, okay, I'm down. I'm down with using tech. Because remember, when you're using technology, technology is using you. The danger with technology is technology wants to replace you. If you're not smart enough, these good old boys, they are collecting everything that you put in the chat GPT. It's going to the Utah data center. It's not by accident that the Utah Data Center is shaped like the mitochondria DNA. You just go to Google, type in Utah Data Center aerial image or aerial view, and look at it. I wrote books on it. Well, did I write a book on that? I know I did a class on it. Because their goal is, how can I clone you? The only way to clone you is to get all your data, how you think. Then I don't technically need you. But I can put that, just like in the movie Sim, I can put that into, remember they already have the tech. They just got to put it into a sleeve. That they're still finalizing the sleeve, which is a clone, a body that cannot be detected as being fake. Just like Google VEO3. I don't know if you guys played around with it. So what's out now is I can get a picture of two people, put them together, showing them having sex, and then send it to each of their wives or husbands. The relationship is fucked. Unless they got, unless they got a good relationship and they know. So your competitive advantage is what makes you unique, what keeps you from being cloned. That's why this is so important. So your competitive advantage allows you to show up in the morning. I know. So somebody said something about Dr. Jerome. They said that, hey man, I saw Dr. Jerome, man, and he's, saying some things that's totally out of character. I know that's not him. Maybe that's a clone. Maybe you saw somebody that looks like him, but that's not him. So last but not least, when we, talking about Google's new there's this VEO3 thing, and some of us, especially, who the younger generation, they're going to light it up. They're going to, if you over, you like me, you're over 60. We see the, power of artificial intelligence. It's awesome, but we have enough life experience where we've lived without it. My son's daughter just, found she's getting ready to have another baby. He's all excited. I was talking to him yesterday, and this is going to be his fourth child and his first son. I remember my oldest daughter just had her fifth child. Well, my boy, little Jackson, he's almost a year now, so that's his first son. So they're coming up with Google's VEO3. He's going to have that in his hand when he's 1. Because, kids what they're saying is they're introducing a system where words become worlds. That's what they are piloting. That's what the buzz, because it's really being developed by a company called DeepMind. It is a generative video AI. It has the power and the capability to take a single prompt like mine and turn it into a full movie production, a fully produced clips with what they say stunning realism. They have the ability to integrate audio. They can lip sync. They can copy and paste. Literally, you become technically a cinematic director. But the thing that blows me away is the verbiage that is taken out of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3, because only God and goddesses can take words and turn them into worlds. But now we have a artificial machine, is only that term, that has that same capacity or the same power. So that way, artificial does not have to tap into ancestral. Ancestral does not have to tap into authentic. So now, remember, Lucifer's system, everything about Lucifer is about manipulation. Because Lucifer does not have the ability for creation. The way I can tell if you possessed or not. The way I can tell if you're a part of the wrong cult. Sure. If it's with cult. If there are certain frequencies, waves, and vibrations, they don't have the ability to create. They only have the ability to manipulate. When words become worlds. Brothers and sisters, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word became flesh. The Word started to dwell among men. We know that the worlds were framed by the Word. If we are able to create artificial frames, now, I don't know if you remember when I shared with you guys yesterday, one of my unique advantages as a soulful synthesizer allows me to establish a conscious or to be a conscious capitalist where I can establish these multi-million-dollar ecosystems using universal authentic intelligence and spiritual general intelligence to think about the cosmic conscious liberation of the so-called melanated man using spontaneous authenticity. That ability to be able to oscillate and to vibrate in a specific frame or framework to create a frame. And it's extremely important because what's coming down the pipe, it's not here yet. It's coming. It's an AI-driven word system that functions like source. Because source is sovereign. Source used is a epigenetic. Source is a leader. And source establishes specific frames or foundations, which is the acronym for my soul print economy. Which is another part, or another report that I'll be rolling out here when I finalize the soul-coded input that creates the sovereign epigenetic leader frame. SELF. Sovereign epigenetic leader frame or framework. What they're rolling out is they don't want to establish heaven on earth. They just want you to establish earth on earth. Again, ain't bad, ain't good. It's just like the original plan of our Father, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. Where? On earth, as it is in heaven. So what we should be doing is whatever's going on in the high vibrational state should be going on in this low vibration. We should be transmuting or transforming whatever's going on in the high vibrational state into this low vibrational state. But this is the first thing on order of business. Everybody knows the deal can import and everything that's inside that labor of love report life optimization circle, your soul ID, that comes with cosmic ID, all that stuff, 750 pages. Life management system, the 7 modules, all the stuff, all the books and everything that goes with that. After that, then we get into these reports. Instead of doing the Illumination Roundtable or the Illumination Report, because again, it's getting into the same, not really follow, but the same overload that I had with the Epigenetic report. And so what we're doing now is making sure that we're breaking these reports down into individuals. So the first report is this unique competitive advantage report. It's really the second report, because the first report, which I'll be talking about next. So now that hopefully everybody's already ordered their competitive advantage report, you want to read over it, take some time, think through it, all that good stuff. Then once we get that one, we got to go back to what we started with, and that was the Cosmic Capitalist Report, which very few people took advantage of that offer when we did. So we'll go back and explain it again, because this what we gave you today, this Cosmic Advantage, is great. You want to take that now, and now we've got to complete a step-by-step empire. We got the landing page. We got the email sequence, but how do you build it out? So you can go to ChatGPT, you can use artificial intelligence instead to create a online course. Remember, it's going to create it based upon its understanding, unless you tell it to create it based upon your infrastructure and your self, which is your source. So I'm using something called spiritual polymath. Also using what we call neuroscience. So using what we call numerology. I'm also using what I call, astrotheology. So I'm coming from a spiritual and a technological, lastly a biological advantage. By programming or reprogramming, the artificial intelligence is programmable. So when you become conscious, and then you're able to create capital from being conscious of your competitive advantage. So now we are going to build a sacred, scalable, soul or spiritual, whatever what you want to use, aligned empire that educates, empowers, and enlightens. That was the purpose of the investment opportunity, was to connect with people who are able to see the big picture of building structures or empires or infrastructures. Now, I'll be rolling solo, but I'll be offering the product, services, and information. And so instead of paying me 10, 15, 20 grand, I'm going to teach you by putting it in the step-by-step recommended infrastructure. Because it's one thing to, and you want to digest all of the stuff that we talked about. You want to get the competitive reports. You want to get the next 2 reports that we're going to talk about. You want to make sure you got your Epigenetic report. All that's fuel for your fire. But that does not put money in your bank account. Especially now, everybody's online. Everybody got some. We got this. You're competing against this Google state-of-the-art text to video, not text to pictures, text to video. You say a command and it creates a video. If you high speed, you can put these videos together to create a cinematic quality, high definition video that is your own movie. I don't know if y'all really know what I just said. Because now once we build your empire, we can turn your empire into movies. Then we can go over to Roku or any other you have. Go back now and read establish my TV station. I can go back and reestablish my radio station and use artificial intelligence to create 24-hour programming off of something like a breast. So I can go back into my 20-plus library. And I can take the series, again, just using that as an example to show you the power of your competitive advantage. So I can just take any of my, so can you. So I got thousands. One of the first things I want to do is take my book, Cosmic Tour, and turn that into a movie. Now remember, the script's already done. The book is the script. So it will create a Cosmic Tour, but I get to describe the Cosmic Tour. I mean, I already did, put it inside the book. So it's going to take, by putting this into, again, I'm letting you know where we're going. We ain't there yet. But I'm going to take my book on a Cosmic Tour, my book on a bright. What about my book on Temple? What about my book on black magic? So I got enough books. Remember, I got 1,000 books. 1,000. That's just me. Now, what I just shared with everybody, what I just shared with Dr. Jerome, that's like at least 100 books. Dr. Span, that's like 200 books. But Osama, that's another 100 books. So let me get this right. I can take my book, Cosmic Tour, and I can put it into Ephesians 6:12. I'm paraphrasing, look it up. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and wickedness in high places, the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. Something like that. The rulers of the dark. So if I create a book or a movie, and have this dude, he comes down from the sky. He's the Lord of the world. He's the ruler of this age. He's the prince of the air. And remember, all you got to do is tell a computer, it creates the image, and then you tell it what it is. Okay, I want it to come down. You describe what it wants, and it creates the images, the movies. You add the voice over, or you let it add voice over. Then you can go back in. Now, in my book, The Cosmic Tour, I talk about the Lord of this world, which is the Lord of the Word. Then I talk about Lucifer, who turns into Satan. Then I talk about the Lord God. Then I talk about Beelzebub. I talk about Asmodeus. I talk about Leviathan. All of these are characters going to be walking around. And then I'm going to talk about OPs and NPCs, which are fit extensions for them to inhabit. So the movie's going to have these invisible dudes. They're looking for non-player characters. That means people who don't know their purpose and they're authentic. Because I can only possess somebody that don't have a soul. If you got your own mind, your own will, your own imagination, your own intellect, if you got your own competitive advantage, why would you be interested in mine? So you don't have no carrots, meaning that you like Dr. Jerome Span. You're comfortable in your own skin. So I'm going to walk up to you and I'm going to say, hey, dog, I'm going to take you up on a high mountain, homie, and if you let me put some baby oil on your butt and do you like Puff Daddy, I'll give you all these kingdoms. Now, the average nigga will be like, sure, brother. Why? He ain't doing shit anyway. But, Negro, if you are a high vibrational expression of God on earth, what are you going to do? Hell no. So I'm going to make a movie where I got these dudes walking around, and I'm going to go through 72 of them. And they're going to be walking around looking for spit extensions. They're called walk-ins. I have to make no adjustments. So, Dr. Jerome, I don't have to fix the carburetor, bro. I don't have to change out the brake pads, bro. There are people that are organic portals. But Osama, are you following me, bro? But Osama, there's people walking around, but they are non-player characters. They're just here. So I'm going to use former KI, bro. But my former KI is going to be, have y'all seen the movie Crow? Where the dude walk up to him and he says something in the ear. And that's Thailima. That's Grimoria. So I'm going to use Thailima. What is Thailima? Thailima is anybody heard of the Thailimic Order of the Golden Dawn? So I'm going to go to it. I'm going to show this secret society where they're teaching will and intention through grammar and Grimoria, which creates the manipulation. You're going to give up your independence. for my declaration. So on the 4th of July, by the 4th, Negro, I'm going to create stability, but it's going to be based on the fucking lie. Because it's in Jews' lie. You the Jews, Negro, because you got melanin. But you don't know. So you're going to give up your independence, because you're going to pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of Demons. And then Yabato, Sabato, Samael is going to occupy your earthly abode through oppression, depression, recession, possession, and I replace God's mentality with Lucifer's reality. It's going to be a whole move me that's going to show the ruler of the cell, which is a polyarch. Polyarch, poly, we get the word politic. Polis means city or cell. Titian simply means word, words that rule cells. Politician. Oh, it's going to be a great movie, Dr. Van. Cosmoguato is the Lord of the Word. That makes him the Lord of the world. That's just one book. All I got to do is just upload my book onto Google VEO3, because that's my copyrighted shiznits. That's why everybody should be publishing their shit, because when you publish it, you copyright it. That's your trademark. If they're going to look at, okay, who copyrighted it first? That's why all these white boys be calling me and say, hey, Doc, I buy all your shit. I just got offered $100,000. But I have to give up. Why y'all think they're trying to bump off? Y'all heard about what they're trying to do with your boy, R. Kelly? They're trying to put him to sleep because he's trying to get his records. He's trying to get his rights to all of his recordings. What happened to Michael Jackson? Sleepy time. What happened to Whitney Houston? Sleepy time. Negro, if you go to the marketplace with a level of awareness like me, and you say you're going to start creating content that is universal, that, remember, nobody cares if you help you and your family. Nobody cares. But if you start a movement, you become a target. Especially if it's a melanated. What if I put my book, Black Magic, into Google VEO3? Hello, Osama? My black ass might come up missing, bro. Do you know what's in that book? I think I probably sold about 5 copies of that book. Same thing with the ontological history of mankind. 800 pages. Because the reason why these books don't sell. Number one, they $400, $800. Why? 30 years ago, I already knew this day was coming, Dr. Spam. The only people that buy my shit is the dominant culture. And then they take it and regurgitate it. I see my stuff all over places. There are people, dominant culture, people that used to be part of this group, but I can tell you right now, go to their page right now. They just take one chapter and turn it into a whole empire. Just like I'm telling you to do. But I'm not telling you to take my stuff. I'm telling you to take your shit. Not mine, it's yours. Copyright it. Good. Brother Osama, your brain is connected to source. And everybody else on this call, this competitive advantage report is just one of many. And Brother Jibide, when you see your worth and value and you connect your authentic self with your ancestors, that means that you now have access to every family member, especially on your mother's side, all their memories are stored in your DNA. You got access to the acoustic records. So every person that has walked before you, their life experience is inside of you. And you could take that authentic, connect with the ancestors. Now you're ready to go and replace artificial intelligence with, I'm going to take out the word, I don't like the word artificial, because that's a Luciferian construct. So we're going to plug in the word autonomic automation. It ain't out yet. We early. Remember, you heard it here first, because autonomics is my word. I copyrighted that mother. Automation is what we're doing. We're automating. We're amplifying. We're going back to what I said, and let me close with this, because y'all know I can go all day. If you do not have the sport, it's only $100. You have to understand that you are your own empire. You don't need an empire from the perspective of trying to copy somebody else's shit. In my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it was not so, I would not have told you so. Where I go to prepare a place for you. I mean, they said, where you going? We can go. We can't follow you now. You can. So everybody on this call, y'all just like the disciples. We don't know where you're going, dog, but wherever you're going, shoot, we're going to go over there, brother. How we going to go? No, that's like, no, that's just for, you have vibrational people. People, you have vibrational too. Well, that's stuff. I mean, that's just for dominant culture, doc. We can't do that, my brother. It is done on memory. Nobody experiences nothing. Whatever you believe, you perceive. What if you change your belief? What if today, everybody on this call change your belief right now? Just how you change your belief? Frequently repeat it. Emotional response. Think about it. Are you tired of being broke? I don't know about you. Are you tired? Anybody else? Is it just me? Tired of being sick? Anybody but me? You tired of being ignorant? Like, what the fuck's going on with NASA? Now, the word NASA means, deceiver, diviner serpent. So you already know that anything that they come out with is designed to do what? Deceive. Anybody else that don't know that? Okay, you might need some wisdom, bro. Relationship? So I don't know about you, but hopefully you're tired of low vibrational, low God. So they gave us LOGOS. That's what the Bible says the word is. So they gave you the lowest version through King James because he was a flaming homo sapien. So you got it, but you got Puff Daddy frequency. You want to anally penetrate. Now, spiritually speaking, because that's what's happening. When you steal other people's stuff and you do low vibrational shit, that's anal penetration. Because you're not, that's not how you are designed. You're God. The goddess. You can clear off the dome. You can generate. You can operate. You can direct your own chi. Why do you need to pump? Puff Daddy. Look at his name. Puffed up. What makes you puffed? What comes before fall? You remember that? So knowledge does not implement puffed up. Pride comes before the fall. So when you get pride from knowledge that are not yours, you Puff Daddy. You the daddy of Puff. Puff Daddy is the archetype for an entity or an energy that says, I'm going to stick 6 inches into somebody's anal cavity to contact the coccyx bone and change the direction of their spin so I can go within. Have you read my book on the 7 seals of Satan? What's the number 7? Sodomy. Wait till I put that shit in the Google. GEO3. That might be X-rated. That ain't for your average Negro. See, brothers and sisters, I don't know if you know where I'm at. See, I'm already there. So, I'm trying to express, expose, and expect. I want everybody else to be that too before I have to change demographics. That simply means change vibration. because the earth is already doing it. So I'm exposing, and expanding that change vibrations. I'm getting ready to jump timelines. I'm changing dimensions. I'm letting you know up front. So when we, hopefully not, I ain't put nothing in the ether. So I'm declaring and decreeing that everybody will change dimensions with me, that we'll jump timelines together, that we're going to take a quantum leap together. I'm declaring and decreeing we're all taking the $1 million quantum leap together. I'm going to drag you all kicking and screaming. Yeah, we're going to go that way. And what we're going to do, we're going to build, what we building, Doc? Sacred, scalable, soul or spiritually aligned empires or galaxies or universes. Okay? Well, what's the purpose of building these empires, these galaxies? Technically, we're established in heaven on earth. But what is heaven? Well, heaven is a place where you are educated, empowered, enlightened, read the vibration equivalent of source code on earth. That's the purpose of the timeline switching or jumping that we are in the middle of right now. So I will see all of you conscious capitalists that are building your own effect on the next show. And don't forget, you have not purchased your own competitive advantage report and all of the other offers. Everybody should be already invested in everything, including the big ticket stuff too. Let's make it happen. I love you. Appreciate you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. God bless.